Yo, about to just tune into some I like to get into the higher, consciousness. Try to learn more about that. I've been trying to get into tap into my higher self, shall I say. Get my pineal gland going. Been doing my breathing exercises before I go to bed. Probably take some time throughout the day to do a breathing exercise too, bro. So really just finna watch little video, little education, bro. We gonna chill, bro. Just chat about the video, see what they got to offer, bro. So let's get right into it.
One of my biggest dreams was to road trip Europe in a van, and I actually attempted it 2 years ago, but I was mentally in a very difficult.
The divine operates with the purpose of creation. Before we continue, I must mention that this video offers a higher spiritual perspective, which may appear abstract and contrary to what you've learned. However, I urge you to be patient and open-minded, as it can lead to experiencing profound inner bliss. Divine thinking transcends the notion of probability. Instead, it envisions and brings into existence with absolute certainty. It manifests both what we perceive as good and what we label as bad. Now you might wonder, why is this understanding essential? Well, in this life, it's crucial to adopt a mindset akin to the divines. Rather than categorizing things as good or bad, focus on what experiences you wish to encounter. In the eyes of the divine, whatever captures its attention continues to materialize and unfold in this reality. You are an integral part, an individualized expression of the boundless divine. Thus, when you deem something as negative or bad, you inadvertently prompt your divinity to bring forth more of it. This is because...
So almost on some law of attraction, basically what I just got from that. But we don't keep going up.
As the divine's thinking revolves solely around creation and experience, devoid of idle thoughts or daydreaming. Consequently, your predominant thoughts are taken literally by the divine, leading to their manifestation in your life for you to undergo. So, what steps can you take in response? Simplify your approach by considering things as either desirable or undesirable. When faced with something undesirable, refrain from labeling it as bad or unwanted and avoid condemning it. Instead, shift your mental focus towards describing and contemplating the desirable state. By doing so, you align your thoughts with the desired outcome, eventually turning it into your reality. The subtle mental shift between divine thinking and human thinking carries a significant nuance. Human thinking tends to be aimless, dwelling on pointless topics or fears most of the time. However, the divinity within you takes these thoughts quite literally. If you fixate on a particular subject for an extended period, the divine interprets it as your prevailing state of being and proceeds to manifest it into your reality. This often leads to surprise and confusion when faced with recurring conflicts with your parents, feeling used, or struggling with financial problems. The key lies in the way you think about these topics, as observing them can reveal your underlying assumptions. I encourage you to practice thinking precisely like the divine. Remove the constraints of time from your life and let go of its limitations. Divine thinking is swift and decisive. It manifests as soon as it is conceived, without any delays. The crux of the matter is to embrace the idea of fulfillment in the present moment. There is only the now. Everything exists in this moment. Your soul is a multidimensional being, simultaneously experiencing infinite versions of yourself right now. Time applies only to your human self, not your divine essence, which is ever present and experiencing all aspects of existence at once.
So it's my divine presence. Wait. Go back. Hold on.
Time applies only to your human self, not your divine essence, which is ever present and experiencing all aspects of existence at once.
When you say all aspects of existence, it's experiencing the physical and is it like the physical and the what am I trying to say? Esoteric or what would you call that, bro? Like the physical body and your spiritual body. That's what the divine essence is all at once. So what she trying to tell me is let's rewatch.
Time applies only to your human self, not
Time applies only to my human self, not my divine essence. Just means that my divine essence is ever being because it don't have a time on it. So it was never okay. So it was never started. If it don't got a time on it though, does that mean? Does this mean like you switch throughout bodies, but your spirit is still the same? Because if they just said your divine essence, watch what she say.
your divine essence, which is ever present.
Your divine essence, which is ever present. Obviously, I'm guessing it's been there, if ever present, and it don't got no time on it, which means there was never a beginning or an end. Since we're not talking about time, it was just always there. I might be onto something, bro, because this is just like you switch through bodies and stuff, bro. You keep the what did she say?
Experiencing infinite versions of yourself at once. Neville Goddard discussed only to your human self, not your divine essence.
Okay, yeah, your divine essence, bro. So basically, the divine essence is what switches through our bodies, bro. But it's like when you get out of this, when your divine essence gets out of this material body now, what happens after? What after? If it's ever lasting, ever existing, I guess we'll see. Let's find out.
Which is ever present and experiencing all aspects of existence at once. Neville Goddard discussed the concept of the fourth dimensional self, often referred to as the inner man. This aspect of you exists in your imagination and can be present at any location and time. Dr. Joe Dispenza also approaches this idea from a scientific perspective, explaining that all potential versions of yourself coexist in the quantum realm. The main point is that by transforming into more energy and less matter, you can manipulate time. As Albert Einstein told us once, time is relative, and its flow can change for objects approaching the speed of light. In essence, this reveals that time holds no sway over your divinity. Your divine self transcends time and space, omnipresent, experiencing every version of you simultaneously.
So is this like saying like, okay, so if your divine self, basically, if your divine self is on the inside, which is shown by your materialistic self, and that has the power to be anything. What is this, bro? Is this basically saying that we have like the power to do and be anything, basically? Is that because, okay, I think that's what I'm getting a little bit, bro. I could be slow. Help me in the comments if I'm slow, bro. But is that what I'm getting from this, bro? I like how this is making my brain work, bro. Cause I don't really get to just sit and just watch and just be able to talk about it as I go, bro. I really just be sitting and just watching, bro. But it's good that I get to talk about this, bro. But yeah, bro, I gotta start discussing this more often, bro. Cause this ain't never really just made my wheels just turn like this, bro. Let's keep going though.
Eliminating the notion of time, you can achieve fulfillment in the present moment. You'll find that you possess everything you desire, as your divine self already holds it.
Told you. I said it. I just said that. I just said it's this saying that basically you can be and do anything because we can run that back, bro. But I don't know if y'all see what I just said, bro. So I'm starting to put two and two together basically. So let's keep going though.
Embracing these thinking patterns enhances your sense of bliss.
And then it's about how you think about it. The thought controls what you attract. Which of those divine characters of you that you attract? It's all about the thought. It's all about the thought. Keep going.
Leading the limited 3D world to reflect exactly what you envision. Your reality shifts to align with your desires and aspirations.
I love a good beer. Specifically your...
Oh, good skip.
Our lives remain largely unchanged because we tend to think in familiar patterns, clinging to our past experiences with the limitations of the human mind. This habitual thinking heavily relies on past data, preventing us from experiencing drastic transformations. However, if we shift our perspective and think from our divine self, the concept of time dissolves, rendering past data meaningless. The divine operates solely in the present moment, and when we dwell on the past, we inadvertently recreate it in the now. Moreover, recognizing the power of feeling in our thoughts unveils a crucial truth. Feelingly thinking of something is tantamount to creating it. Eliminating the constraint of time, we can embrace the notion that our divine self already possesses and experiences our desires in some plane of existence. By attuning to the energy of that existence or version of ourselves, we can manifest our desires into the 3D reality. As Neville Goddard once said, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. Our desires act as confirmations from the divine realm that we can have what we seek. However, it is often our own resistance that blocks these manifestations from materializing. Ultimately, our choices determine the experiences we attract, and our divine self responds to those choices accordingly. When you fixate on what you don't want and resentfully label it as bad, you inadvertently reinforce its presence. Therefore, it's crucial to nurture a mindset akin to the divines, increasingly focusing on what you truly desire to experience rather than categorizing things as good or bad. Dwelling on the concept of good and bad often leads to becoming consumed by the negative, as the egoic mind thrives on problems.
So, what I'm getting from this part is basically, if you're gonna do something, contemplation and hesitation is what kills the whole dream at hand, because it's like you want to do something, it's like, what if this, what if that, not an even if attitude. It's a what if attitude, and this is just what kills the this is the barrier. That's probably the barrier from your dream just being a dream and it being actual reality, because you just, once you contemplate about it, then you're gonna think about the negative and stuff. And then yeah, you can think about the positive too, but sometimes the negative could be a little bit overwhelming, just a tad bit, So you might get overwhelmed by the negative, and then you might just be like, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. And then that's how the whole situation just get crushed all together. So basically, what I'm getting from here is just contemplation, hesitation leads to failure. Basically, so if you gonna do something, failure is obviously inevitable, bro. Like I seen this one quote, it was like, if you knew how many, like, if you had a goal and you knew it took you 30 fails, if you knew you was gonna fail 30 times before you met your goal, how fast would you start failing? And then I started thinking about that, bro, because it's like, that's serious, bro. Because success is just like multiple failures that just worked out, bro. So it's like, if you knew you was 30 failures away, bro, you gonna want to fail more. You gonna want to get that effort out there, bro. So it's like, yeah. But that's what this is just getting from this, though. Back to the video, though. Just getting, so basically, don't contemplate, hesitate, don't don't sit and think for it too long, I guess, or the negative gonna override you. Let's get back to it.
Whereas the divine mind is a creative force that brings forth manifestations. It exists beyond the limitations of time and space, omnipresent, and your role is to harness this power to shape the experiences you desire, shedding all other mental distractions. The divine doesn't dwell on possibilities or probabilities, nor does it ponder the pros and cons of things. The evidence lies in the chaos prevalent in the world, as if the divine were to consider good and bad. As religions describe it to be supremely merciful, there would be no suffering. The world would be a utopia, a heavenly realm. However, as the divine has granted us the authority of creation in our individual lives, it is our human minds, with their inherent nature, that breed chaos, suffering and pain. That's why I encourage you to adopt a mindset resembling that of the divine. Doing so will bring clarity and ease to your understanding, revealing the truth that we become what we consistently think about. Thinking like the divine aligns you with the pure and loving energy of the source, liberating you from feelings of lack and filling you with profound bliss. By elevating our consciousness and shedding lower-level thinking, we can collectively contribute to making the world a better place. Failure to do so will perpetuate suffering and ignorance of the fundamental principles governing life. When you think like the divine, embracing your I am presence, you'll feel an unwavering assurance that everything is as it should be, even in the face of suffering. This is because in reality, none of this is genuinely tangible. It exists merely as a dream in the mind of the all-encompassing divine.
Well, can we reflect on this video?
Yeah. I'll be there.
Let's pause right there. So, what we got from that was, let's not procrastinate on everything too long. Let's get straight to it.